Hello, I'm Danielle Stimpson and Libra. These are your cards for October 2022. To learn more about the astrology that will be going on behind the scenes, go ahead and check out the overview video, which will be up soon. You can also take a peek at the actual spread that I created for all of us this month. You can take a peek at the description. You'll see a link to a handy infographic that will explain the astrology behind every placement and even allow you to use this reading style and all of these placements at home on your own if you so choose. So without any further ado, let's dive right into your cards for this month. Okay, so spoiler alert, this is not going to be the most gentle of times. I know it hasn't exactly been, but there's definitely some things to come of it, at least. So we start off with the moon, and the moon has definitely a connotation as being almost like a warning card. It can portend to a difficult path ahead, but one that is divinely guided. There's a certain amount of lesson to be learned here. This is definitely a life's lesson and a soul purpose behind it. Here we see the moon, things aren't fully illuminated. We see that there's only one way to go, and we see that the water is for at least a little while somewhat choppy. So definitely this is your theme of the month. Know that at least at these being a little bit more challenging times, there is a deeper meaning to all of it as far as your soul's purpose and your maturity, personal growth, and spiritual growth here in this plane. You're starting the month off here. This is our starting point, and this is the Four of Swords. This is sort of a point of feeling like you really have nowhere to go just yet. You know that the future seems a little uncertain. You're kind of in between, not a rock and a hard place, but you just know that you're in almost a holding pattern. This is the card that often reflects like meditation in thought, but a little bit withdrawn, pulled away from daily life. So definitely stepping out this month will be into a little bit of dicier situations, not necessarily dicey in a bad way, but just challenging. We also have your challenge card. And as a challenge card, it's not the worst card, not by far, and it's the Star. It's actually one of the better cards in the deck, and the Star is Hope Springs Eternal in a summary. The traditional iconography behind this card is the maiden in the water with two water vessels, and as she's pouring one empty, she's filling up the next, and it's this idea of as you lose, so shall you receive, that there is this ebb and flow to the universe, and to be reminded that even in the darkness, there is a star to guide your way. That's the meaning of this. So as a challenge card is as you traverse through this time, not to lose sight of what's important, trying not to lose hope, and keeping in mind that while certain things have been stripped away, and this isn't to sort of paint a smiley face on something that's not comfortable, but remember that there's something else more beyond it. This will be the challenge of the month, so keep in mind that reaching out to those you love, reaching out for resources, those are absolutely there. I know when we're going through something, it's a little harder to remember that those things exist, that those people exist. We think we don't want to be a burden. This is your sign to say, there is help. There are things within reach. There will be another brighter day. This isn't the end of a path. This is just a long and difficult path, yes. And at the end, there will be something better. Think of the moon. Think of it a little bit like the Wizard of Oz. There's some parts on Dorothy's traipse down the yellow brick road that are more challenging than others. But ultimately it leads to good things at the end. This is what the star is reminding you of. So the challenge is to try to keep your head above water and keep in mind that things can get better, and they will absolutely get better. For the whispers from your guides, we have the Three of Swords. this is a card of validation for what you're going through. The Three of Swords is about brokenheartedness. It's about loss. It's often seen as like the cheating card for relationships. And to some of you, that may be it. But this is heartache and heartbreak on some level. This is your guides reminding you that, yeah, we are not forsaking you. We know what you're going through. We honor and respect your heartbreak, and we are here with you in that time. So know that they're here with you too. Additionally, the card that comes at the end here, it's a card that I'm calling Exploring Values and Beliefs. And this really has to do less with your individual month and more to do with the eclipse season that's coming up. That starts on October 25th and it goes through November 8th. And during that time, it's going to be one of the more volatile eclipse seasons we've had in quite some time, possibly in our lifetimes. That's not to say that it's going to be necessarily personally directed. It's going to be a global thing for all of us. And with that, this particular spot in your reading is to help give you homework as if you have any room for it. It's okay if you don't. You're doing the best you can. But if you can open up your perspective to seeing assumptions, things like attitudes and beliefs that we've either absorbed from others or from childhood, or things that we've just always assumed to be true, to open up our perspective and be willing to see that things could be a little bit different than we've always assumed, that there might be some more wisdom out of reach when we look through the eyes, the words, and the wisdom of someone else sitting somewhere else. And for you, the card that comes up is the Seven of Swords. This is very much like you really don't have to do any extra homework. I think you're going to learn this on your own. But the Seven of Swords is the trickery, deceit, sneaky card. This is not you. This is not to say someone is coming to get you. That's not what this card is about. This card is basically saying, as much as you don't behave this way, learning that some folks maybe only see as far as what they can grab. The Seven of Swords is all about taking what's right there, kind of thievery and deceit, but being so short-sighted you don't see the two things left behind you. This is more about learning a lesson about humanity, that some people will just grab whatever is right there and not think about anyone else or even themselves beyond the immediate idea to seemingly do something that is very short-sighted, very deceitful, and very wicked. This is just basically to learn that people don't have the same scruples that you do. This may set you on a good course to make better decisions more easily during that eclipse season of the 25th through the 8th. So with that, I do wish you all of the best love and light for the month of October. I do lead a 5 times weekly healing live stream here on YouTube. Drop in anytime you want some care. Just drop on in and absorb some good vibes. Hang out in the chat if you feel like being social, or just chill out at home, whatever feels better to you. You can also learn more about online Reiki classes with me, my social media, community, Discord, and crystal shop, all in the description below. This deck is the Fountain Tarot. It's also linked in the description. Thank you so much for being here with me. Consider subscribing if you want to join me again for November, and I will see you next month. Take care.